So obviously you're going to be at Indiana Comic Convention in March.
Yes.
Um, so like, how do you, I guess what goes into is, first of all, is this your first appearance at Indiana Comic Convention?
Yes, this is my first time. This is my first time, I think, appearing in Indiana in general, too.
Oh, excellent.
I
How do you
know.
decide when somebody reaches out and say, "Hey, we'd love to have you come to Indiana Comic Convention"? What goes into that process? I mean, obviously schedules, but what goes into the kind of the decision-making process of, "Yeah, I'll come."
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is schedule, and the second thing is, have I been near there soon? You're trying to do the best for the promoter because you want to, draw a crowd. You don't want to like, double double. But actually, I just did 3 weeks apart in Atlanta and still had like a nice crowd. So, but what I did was I didn't let the second place announce until the first place was over.
Oh,
Um, because if you don't have a mileage stipulation in the contract, technically an actor can appear anywhere at any time, but I would never do that to somebody. Like I want to work with the crowd, with the promoter, and go someplace that it's been a while since I've been there, and not oversaturate myself. And sometimes it's like I want to go to that place. Sometimes it's I've never been. And it's always like kind of a myriad of things because some of us work more with more than one agent. So it's like you might get, 5 to 10 offers at the same time, and you're kind of just sifting through them. But I've been booked through for all of 2025 for 3 months now. So I feel really bad. There's all these offers coming in, and I have to say no to everybody.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good
it
problem
feels,
to have, though, right?
it is a good problem to have, but I do feel bad.
Yeah.
I'm thanking everyone. Thank you for the invite, maybe next year, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So as you go to these fan conventions like Indiana Comic Convention, are there common requests or asks that you get from fans? And if so, what are those?
Common requests. Well, often they want to, sometimes they just want to come and talk to you. Sometimes they want you to sign cards. Sometimes they want you to sign Funko Pops. Sometimes they want you to sign prints. Sometimes they have drawn something that, they're artists and they want you to sign that. Um, there's all kinds of requests. And then, we usually do panels. Usually they'll have us at least on one panel a day. Um, and sometimes they'll pair us up. Like, they might put Sarah Nato, Jenny, and I together because we've both been working on Pokemon together for, oh my gosh. Well, she worked on it for, 18 or 19 years, I think now. And I've worked on it for like 20, 25 years. It's been a long journey together. So it's awesome when you go to these things and they put you on a panel with someone you haven't seen in like a year. So like not only are you enjoying talking like to the audience, but you're also like, oh my God, hi, like I miss you, I love you. So sometimes like these conventions are the only times we get to see each other, because I work on the East Coast, some people work on the West Coast, and then there's the people in Texas and stuff. So like it's the only place where we all converge. You know what I mean? I have
Hmm.
my Valentine's Day nails for you
They're
right here.
beautiful. Yeah, they look
Thank you.
awesome. One thing I'm curious about too, like maybe you get this, people love your work, but
Hmm.
maybe they don't know like exactly what you look like in real life. Like, for example, my daughters,
Uh-huh.
um, they used to watch like, Sophia the First, and
Oh
they met.
wow. Yeah, that's
Um,
a great show.
it is, it's fun, but
Yeah.
they years ago at FanX in Salt Lake City,
Hmm.
Utah, Jess Harnell was there, and I didn't know that Jess played the voice of one of the characters. When I saw it, I said, "Oh my gosh, you're this guy's voice." I had no idea.
Isn't
He's
that
like, "You watch this
funny?
show?" I said, "My daughters are crazy for it."
Jess is in a series with my daughter right now.
Really?
They're in Bat Wheels together on HBO Max. Um, yeah, my daughter voices BB the Batgirl Cycle. She's one of the lead characters, and she also sings a lot of solos and duets and stuff. So she's been working on that show for 4 years, and they're in season 3 right now. And it's
No.
it's really fantastic. It's the only preschool show set at night. So that
Huh.
was the first. Yeah, kind of
That's
neat, right?
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I took my daughters and they met Jess, and it was incredible. And my daughter was 10, and
Aw.
like she couldn't get over Jess compared to his character. Like
It's
it took
crazy.
her a
Yeah. I
while.
mean, sometimes you voice characters that you look like, and sometimes you voice characters that you look nothing alike. And like the cool part of being a voice actor is you are essentially incognito, you know? So I've only been recognized 5 times ever outside of the convention circuit. So I might be recognized on the elevator, near the convention center or in the convention center, around the area at a restaurant near the convention center, but it's super rare that I am recognized outside of an event, you know. And when it happens, it's pretty fun. Like I was recognized by a security guard at an Indigo Girls movie premiere that I went to, the documentary. He was manning the door, and he was like, "Oh my God, hi." And I was like, "Hi." I was like, he's talking like like he knows me. And he's like, "Oh, I just like met you a couple months ago at it's this so and so convention." And it's just kind of funny when you meet someone outside the world and how incognito you can be. And also, like, to your point, I've been voicing like 60, 70, 80, 90 year olds since my 20s. So you don't necessarily look like your character at all, and I voice a lot of Pokemon, and virtually none of them look like me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. None of them, right?
Don't you love it? I said virtually. Um,
Yeah,
maybe there's a little Meloetta in there. I don't know.
yeah. Talk to me a little bit when you're at these conventions.
Hmm.
We get questions all the time, like, what if I meet so and so? If I meet Erica, what do I do when I get there? What do I expect when I walk up to their table and meet them? What
Aw.
if they're at Indiana Comic Convention and they walk up to your table? What should they expect?
Okay, well, everybody's different. I'm a chatter, so you'll spend a little bit of time with me. I know that usually people are like they take a while to open up. They're a little bit shy sometimes. So, and if I sense that, if they don't come right out of the gate with like questions, if they're just really like kind of maybe sometimes they're starstruck, I will start the conversation and I'll ask them a question about themselves or ask a piece of trivia about something or, gauge what they're interested in first and try to get the conversation started. To just have a genuinely fun experience together, getting to know each other a little bit. And, then usually they'll have some question about something I've been in, or maybe they want to give me a compliment about something, or I want to ask them, like, where did you get your glasses? I'm known to be friendly and chatty, a bit like Bryce Pappenbrook. We're both very peppy and happy all the time.
I love it.
It's called a sunny disposition, and I can't take credit for it. I was just born with it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So they'll get to spend some time and get to know you, you talk to them. That's awesome.
Yeah, while
Let
I'm
me ask you.
signing autographs, basically.
Okay,
Yeah.
good, perfect. Talk a little bit about like voice acting. It's 20 now, 5 years, is it, with Pokemon? How did you always want to do voice acting, and how did you get your start?
Okay, my mom says I came out of the womb dancing. So my first love was dancing and singing and acting. And voice acting is a part of that. And I always tell everyone that I have a people are always like, "Where's your sister in this story?" She was there. I love my sister. We're very close. But my brother and I used to brush our teeth for long periods of time and make like really ridiculous faces and name them and then like make voices and name them. And we started like creating characters when I was like 5 years old, and I told my parents pretty much out of the gate, like, I want to be on Broadway and I want to be the voice of a cartoon. And, they believed me because I never ever changed. I never said something different. It was every day. What are you going to do when you grow up? I'm going to be on Broadway and I'm going to be the voice of a cartoon. So I pretty much worked every day of my youth, and still to this day, um, at that goal, to continue. I got my first Broadway show at age 25, and then my first voiceover job at age 28. Ironically, Broadway was first and then voiceover after. Um, it's just something that's in my blood, and as something I always knew that I wanted to do, and it was super important to me to reach that goal and to live that life. It's just, I can't imagine another life. It would have to be in the arts. I'd have to be a painter or a sculptor or a singer or a hip hop dancer in concerts. Like it would definitely be performance related and arts related, no matter what. Those are all the things I'm interested in, you know.
Yeah. You've been in some of the, I mean, some of the most popular video games and most recognizable shows in history. How do you decide which role to take when it's offered?
Oh, that's so funny. Jeremy, I love this question because it's almost like as if I have a choice, right? Really, what it is which ones do I audition for? And also, like, sometimes there are auditions that I want that I don't get. Sometimes they don't fall across my desk per se. I don't get an email from my agent or my manager about it. And then sometimes I have to go looking for that. But most of them do come in from some of them do come in direct from studios, and so a lot of them come in from agents. And so they're the ones kind of choosing what I get. What's cool is now that I'm, kind of known in the industry, I do have agents that are really cool and that will sometimes be like, you choose, or you can audition for as many as you'd like. They trust me in the essence that I'm not going to submit myself for something that I can't do. And they also trust me in the sense that, like, you can't really put me in a box. Ironically, I work in a box, but I I hate being put in a box, and most people in the industry know that about me. And that's why I voice over 70 different Pokemon because, just when you think what I might be capable of, I might surprise you with something new. So I voice, mature women, young girls, babies, young boys, old women, young boys, and creatures, everything except for men. And I have voiced men twice. I have had someone give me a chance to voice a man twice, and that was quite exciting. It was like one guest episode and something, and then I was in a podcast where the casting director was like, "I want you to play a man in the scene," and I was like, "Yeah." I love a good challenge. So it's less about what parts do I decide to take than what parts do I decide to audition for and what parts are presented to me, if that makes any sense. Because I'll take, oh my gosh. I mean, I won't take a part that, is not authentic to me. I'm not going to play, a black woman. I'm not going to play, you know, that does bring up the subject of, like, anime, right? I mean, is it about Japanese characters or is it just everyone is the same, right? With things like that, they often do blind casting. And then if if one character looks different, that character has to be voiced by that ethnicity, which I think is really important. But if every character looks the same, then sometimes they'll do blind casting and every ethnicity plays that one ethnicity. It's really when the ethnicity is different, interpreted on camera, that they're looking for that particular thing, which I think is important. Authenticity
Yeah.
and representation is very important. So those are the
Love
things
that.
you won't see me playing. Yeah.
Okay. That's fascinating. Very
I mean,
interesting.
sometimes we get the animation after, and I hate to say this because it does happen, but sometimes we are tricked into it. I don't like to think it's intentional, and I would really hate to think it was ever intentional, but it has happened. And I've been like, oof, how did that happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
definitely. How much when you go to audition for a role, do they
mhm.
give you any guidance like try to do it this way, or do you just kind of look at the script and the character and decide this is the way I'm going to do it?
Jeremy, it has changed so much over time. It has changed so much. So they all used to be in person. Okay. So they would maybe see 50 people, 100 people, 500 people. Maybe if they were auditioning for a full month, maybe 1,000 people. Now it's online. So a lot more people are being seen because we don't have appointment times, right? It doesn't have to be within the structure of a day. It's basically how insane does the casting director want to be? Like, how many people do they want to listen to? You know what I mean? So there's more of us. And the direction is more oftentimes not live. Now, occasionally I'll be, going in for a job, and they'll say, "Can you audition for something after we're finished?" I love that because that's like, oh, now I get to get live direction. One of the reasons why I had like a 30% booking rate back in the day was because whatever you threw at me, I was like, okay, you know what I mean? Like being able to take direction live and take it well, without having to go through this giant thought process of what should I do or how am I going to do that or how many times is it going to take me to get that direction right. When you're directing live, you can see it in real time, like she got it. All right, let's move on. All right, let's keep going. As opposed to, directing yourself in the booth, you get it and then you get like a deadline. It's due in 12 hours, it's due in 24 hours, it's due in 48 hours. You have to figure out when you have that time to get in the booth and do it. You have to study the script yourself, you have to break it down yourself and make decisions. So generally you do get a character description and usually you get a visual. So I will take cues from both. I'm going to take all of the adjectives and I'm going to underline them right away. Some people use an iPad, some people use printouts. Sometimes I'll memorize the adjectives or I'll write them down on a notebook. I always have several notebooks in my booth at all times. And I'll think like, how can I make all of these adjectives fit together? And what does that feel like? Sometimes they will give vocal traits in the description. Sometimes they will not. Sometimes you're just looking at the character and they're like, they look like that, or they're like, and you can really get a lot out of the character images. Sometimes the teeth are not inside their mouth, they're outside their mouth. That character is going to sound really different. And when I go to voice that character with their teeth outside the mouth, you know, depending on their gender, depending on their age, combined with the fact that their teeth are large and outside of their mouth, it's going to make the character sound different. So I'm also looking for the eyebrows. What are they doing? I'm looking for the expression, because usually the casting director, if they're a good one and good, smart one, they will give you photos, or slides of the character that are in line with their most prominent personality trait, right? So they're not going
Mm-hmm.
to give you like a villain looking like this, unless they're a sneaky villain, you know so they're really going to try and give you those character images that personify the character most. So I take it from what they're telling me, I take it from the character description, I take it from the vocal traits description, and I take it from the visual, and then I combine all those things. It's a giant puzzle, and I make decisions and I make choices based on those things. It is fun. It's fun. It's time consuming, but it's fun. It's a lot of
That
fun.
sounds
Great
like a lot
people.
of fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool. Just a couple more questions. One,
sure.
what current projects are you working on? And are there upcoming projects that we could share with fans that are going to be at Indiana Comic Convention next month?
Sure, sure. I'm always working on several projects, and some of them are under NDA and some of them are not. I am currently working on The Medalist, which is an anime on Disney. And Christina V is directing it. She's incredible. And I play the lead character, Inori's mother, Ms. Yuitsuka. And it's amazing playing a character that's supposed to be, authentic to you. And we don't have matching personalities. We have certain traits that are very similar. And then certain thoughts in our head are very different. You know what I mean? It's funny now that I think about it. I'm, oh, am I being like, is this a theme in my life right now? Because I just did Ghost Cat Anzu for G Kids, and I played Yuzuki, the main character's mother. Again, it's so funny. I just thought of that. Recently voiced two of the different main characters' moms. I am a mom myself, and I feel deeply connected to that. And I think when people meet me, they do get a maternal vibe from me, a maternal instinct. I do try and take care of everyone around me, and I do try and make sure that everyone around me is comfortable. So there's a maybe a mothering quality or a warmth that they're picking up on for that. But I'm also always in Pokemon,
Mm.
Pokemon Horizons. What do I currently voice on that? 70 plus Pokemon, but mostly Lapras, Palmy, Palmot, Palmo, Noctowl, and a bunch of others. So and I'm just working on Signa Bauman's new animated feature. I just did My Love Affair with Marriage. She animates everything by hand, and it's incredible. She's Latvian. Her stories are amazing. Oh my God, her direction is amazing. I'm a huge fan of hers, so it's like very exciting to work on one of her films. And her next one is called Karmic Knot, and it has Patrick Wilson in it. It has who else is in it? Gracie Lawrence, Matthew Modine, and then a bunch of theater actors. And what's ironic is, you know, I know these people, these wonderful people, through my theater work in New York. I was a staple in the theater community, and I used to work at this place called the Lark Theater Development Center, which is no longer around. It was so amazing. I got to do readings and workshops of new plays there, and I met the casting director there. He directed me in a few different plays, and so yeah, I mean, you meet people different ways. You become involved in different projects through different avenues. But there's a lot that I've been working on. I'm going to be announcing a film, a new animated feature next week. I think I'll be announcing on Wednesday or Thursday. And I'm back as Dark Magician Girl in Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Solid Vision Experiment, which was so fun to revisit her because it's been a very long time. So I think fans were excited about that. And a
Cool.
bunch of other projects. I could go on, but we're most of us are usually in the middle of working on a few different projects at the same time.
Excellent. If people want to know and follow some of these projects, like the one you're going to announce next week, where's the best place for them to do that?
The absolute best place where I'm the most active is Instagram, Erica Schroeder VA, and I try and answer people's questions on there as long as they're public and not private. I really do try and stay active with my fans and let them know that I'm listening to them. And because, a lot of us wouldn't be here without them. And actually, if it's okay, I'd like to give a shout out to a fan. I found out she passed away today. She was one of my favorites, Nicole Shawan, Nikki, she went by. She actually passed away in November, and I just found out today. There's a group of wonderful voice actors that have been supporting me. I'm sorry, a group of wonderful fans that have been supporting me, gosh, for the last like 15 years. And Nicole was one of them. She suffered with many physical disabilities throughout her life, and she was always in a lot of pain, but she had the most incredible, beautiful optimism. And every time I saw her, she just greeted me with so much warmth and a smile and a hug. And she loved to cosplay as different princesses and other things. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Nicole's family and say that um, everyone in the Yu-Gi-Oh community absolutely loved Nicole, and she was a very special person to us, a very special
Thank
fan.
you. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I'm
Yeah,
sorry for your loss. That's terrible.
thank you.
Can we ask one last thing?
Sure.
And I guess maybe twice, because I understand you're going to be at FanX in Salt Lake in September.
Hmm.
But I'd love to have you maybe is there a direct message you'd like to share with fans coming to Indiana Comic Convention?
A direct message that I'd like to share. Well, come on over and say hello to me. You don't always have to buy an autograph. Come and say hi. I'm there to just get to know you, to answer your questions, and just to have a really great time together. So make some time for me, and I'll make time for you.
Beautiful. I love that. Thank you so much.
Of
We'll share
course.
that both for fans in Indiana Comic Convention, but then also FanX in Salt Lake coming up for September. But is there anything
Awesome.
else that we should have asked that didn't ask or that you wanted to share?
Oh gosh. I mean, there's always more to talk about, but I think we covered most things. Yeah.
Okay. Erica, thank you so much. This has been such a
Thank
pleasure
you. Thank
chatting
you,
with you
Jeremy.
today. We'll keep you updated as we distribute some of this out and where we use it on social media and stuff like that. And we can share it with you so you can see it in advance as well if you'd like.
Awesome.
Okay. Looking so much forward to meeting you at some of these upcoming shows. And thank you again for your
Likewise.
time.